Hello, everyone. My name is Sean Roach, and I'm an admissions and recruitment officer with Algonquin College here in Pembroke. And today, what we're going to do is I'm going to go through an Ontario Colleges application tutorial. So this video will be used for anyone that's looking to apply to Algonquin College through ontariocolleges.ca. And this tutorial will help guide you through that application so that you're not missing any points. So I'll go ahead and I'll share my screen here to bring up the website. So what we're going to do, we're going to start our journey today on the Algonquin College Pembroke webpage. So that's algonquinccollege.com/Pembroke. And what we're going to do, we're just going to scroll down just a little bit to all Pembroke programs to pick a program that we are interested in or to explore if you're not quite sure exactly what program you want to do. So here you will find a listing of all of our programs offered in fall 2024, as well as programs offered in winter 2025 and spring 2024 and winter 2024 as well. So these program pages are going to be your very best starting point to learning about the program that you want to apply to, as well as you can actually go right into the Ontario Colleges application from here. So I just clicked into our outdoor adventure program. This is one of our long-standing programs at the Pembroke campus. It's a very fun program for anyone that's looking to get into the outdoor adventure tourism industry. So you can use these program pages to learn even more about your program before you submit your application. So we do have a program summary, we have availability, so if your program is open, closed, or waitlisted, or if it's a highly competitive or non-highly competitive program. We have a program overview. You can review your admission requirements. You can look at the courses that you're doing in a program and look at each course within each semester and be able to read a little description of each course to get a really good sense of what you're learning in your program. You can also look at your main learning outcomes, your careers and pathway options, so any options into career exploration, as well as any of our pathway options into our articulation or degree agreements, where you can add on to your college experience, your college diploma, by entering into a university program and getting advanced standing into some of those university programs. You can also look at the tuition and fees and review all of the fees and expenses that you're likely to incur in the outdoor adventure program, so you can properly plan for your expenses and finances that way. We have additional information about the program, so information on what technological requirements you might need if you want to attend a virtual tour or look at the academic calendar or a full program overview in a PDF format. Now, you can also contact the program coordinator and view the coordinator's bio to learn more about Jeff Jackson, the program coordinator of the Outdoor Adventure Program, or any other coordinator that you may be looking into in terms of the program that you're exploring. Now, you can also scroll down right to the bottom of the page, and there will be FAQ sections. There'll be success stories, graduate testimonials. So this is a really great resource to use. But what we're going to do, we're just going to go right up to the top and click on this green Apply Now button, and that's going to bring us right down here to Ready to Apply. Now, if you are applying as a domestic student, you'll click on the Apply Now button. But if you are applying as an international student, you will click on the International button, and that'll reroute you to the International Student Application Portal. Now, by going through the application through the college website, it will go into what's called a branded application. So it is connected to Ontario Colleges, but it is also done through Algonquin College. So you can see welcome here, and if you are an international applicant, you can still click on this international application to get rerouted to the international application portal. Otherwise, you can go down here and start your application. And you'll notice here, before you start your application, you can choose up to 3 programs from Algonquin College, whether that be in Pembroke, Perth, or Ottawa. And you can search the program catalog and get information on program start dates and availability. And you're also able to pay the college application fee online. So we'll go ahead and we'll click on this to start our application. And this will bring us over to ontariocolleges.ca. Now, I've already signed into my profile. So this is what it looks like whenever you just sign in through the Algonquin College website and connect into Ontario Colleges. But now that you know how that looks, we're just going to exit out of this, and we're going to go through what most people will do. We'll go through Google. So we're just going to type in Ontario Colleges. And that'll bring up the Ontario Colleges service for Ontario's public colleges. So we'll just click on that, and that'll take us to the main page for ontariocolleges.ca. Now, if you've never filled out an Ontario College application, or if this is your first time applying to college, you can click on this apply/login now button, and that'll bring you right over into here. Again, if you are an international applicant, you can click on this apply now button under international applicants to get more information on applying as an international student. But if you are applying as a domestic student, you can either click on apply now, or again, if you've already created a profile previously, you can click on login and log in using your login information. So you will log in using your email address that you'll use, and then you'll set up a password, and then you'll use that information to access your Ontario College's application at any point after you submit your application. So if you want to go in, make any changes to your profile, to your program choices, or even just to check in on any of your acceptance offers, you can log in through ontariocolleges.ca to find out that information. So I am recording this video in October of 2023. And at this point in time, there's actually 2 application periods that are open. So we still have the 2023-2024 application period open. And those are for programs that are starting between July 2023 and August 2024. So we still have our winter 24 program open, as well as our spring 24 program dates open through this application. Now, if you are actually looking to apply for fall 2024, winter 2025, or winter 2020 or spring 2025, you'll actually scroll down here and you'll do your 2024-2025 application, and you can start here. But if this is your first time signing into your Ontario College's application, or if you need to update some information, you're going to start off with your profile, and you're going to start off with your personal information. And I've already uploaded some information into the personal information field just to make things easier. Plus, it also doesn't let me change some of the information after I've already inputted it. So you do have your legal first name and your legal last name. So that's where you'll put that there. You can have a title that's optional. You can put Miss, Mr., Mrs., or Miss. So that's totally optional for anyone that wants to. Now you can also put in a middle name if you want. That's totally optional as well. Now you see this section here called preferred name, and that's also optional as well. But a lot of people will use this preferred name for a few different reasons. So if your name is Samantha or Jonathan, you prefer to go by Sam or John, then you'll put that into this preferred name column. But also, if you identify as a different gender and you go by a different name and you prefer the colleges to refer to you by that name and get communication in that, you can also put that into your preferred name as well. Now, just a little note on that. If you do want your preferred name to show up on your college diploma or certificate upon graduation, that does require a legal name change. And once that is completed, then you are able to update your name through the college system as well. Now, just going down a little further, if you have any previous legal last names, you can put that in there. So if you were previously married or had another name, you can put that in there as well. Then you'll put in your date of birth. So there's drop-down menus for the month, the day, and the year that you were born. And then you can also put in your gender identity. So whether you identify as male, female, or identify as another gender, you can identify that here. Then you can also put in what your first language is. So if your first language is English, if your first language is French, or if your first language is another language, you can identify through that section here. Now, the next question, it says, have either of your parents or guardians attended university or college? So if they have, you can check yes. If no, you can check no. But if you're not sure, or if you don't want to disclose that information, you can put undeclared. And what this information is essentially for is it identifies students as a first-generation student. So if your parents or guardians did not previously attend college or university, you will be identified as a first-generation student, which can open up more opportunities for different bursaries, awards, or scholarships at your individual college. Now we scroll down a little further for our address and contact information. So you can identify what country what country you are from. So whether you reside in Canada, United States, or a different country, you can enter that there. And then you can also put in your your mailing address. So whenever we send out your acceptance offers, your acceptance packages, it will get received to the right address. And when you're inputting your address, it will verify if it is a valid address with Canada Post. So for the purposes of our application tutorial, I have put in the Pembroke campus's address, 1 College Way in Pembroke, Ontario in Canada. But if you previously applied and you've since moved, you can enter a different address here, or after you've already submitted your application and before school starts and where you're still in the application funnel, you can always go in and change your address if you happen to move during that time. Now you can also put in your phone number. So it is recommended to use a valid personal phone number, whether it be a cell phone or a home phone. So you can input that here for the purposes of this tutorial. Again, I've used the Pembroke campus's mainline number, 613-735-4700. So you can always call that number if you do have questions about the Pembroke campus. And you can identify whether that's a home number or a mobile number. And you do have the option to add in more. So if you want to add in a spouse's phone number or a parent's phone number as a secondary contact number, you can do that as well. You can also input your contact email. So this is where a lot of the information is going to get sent regarding your acceptance offers, and later on in the cycle, your schedule information and orientation information. So you really want to make sure that this information is accurate. So I have used our yourfuture@algonquincollege.com email address. So that's the main recruitment address for the Pembroke campus. So if anyone does have any questions about the Pembroke campus, you can email that to that email. And then you can also identify what your preferred language of correspondence is. And that'll primarily be from Ontario colleges, as most of the colleges will send out their information in English, as those are where the language institutes are based out of. Then you can also scroll down to citizenship and residency. So you can identify if you are a Canadian citizen or if you are currently a citizen of another country, and whether you consider yourself to be a person of Indigenous descent or a person related to a person of Indigenous descent, and you can identify that here. And if you're looking for information on what that means, you can click on here for why we ask for that information. You can also add in what your country of birth is, whether it's the same of your citizenship or if it's different. Then we'll scroll down, and the next section is for sponsorship. So if you or you're in the process of getting sponsored, you can indicate that here and through the agency. So if you're going through Better Jobs Ontario, Indigenous and Northern Affairs, Veterans Affairs Canada, Vocational Rehab, WSIB, or any of the other options, or if your option isn't available, you can choose other as well, just to identify with the college that you're applying to if someone's going to be sponsoring for your fees, so that they can get in touch with you to go through that process. So this next section here is brand new this year to the application, and it is the applicant diversity census. So Ontario Colleges is requesting information around relating to equity, diversity, and inclusion. So then they can provide those sort of data numbers to each institution to kind of give each college an idea as to how many folks are coming in from different pockets of the EDI community, so we can properly plan and support for those areas as well. Now, this is completely optional. You do not have to fill out this information. So if you are not comfortable with answering any questions, you can always click prefer not to answer. But there are a couple questions in here. So it does start with, what ethnic group do you identify with? And you can select all that apply. So it's not just one. You can select many that you would identify with. And there's many different options there for you to select. But again, if you prefer not to answer, you can select that as well. Or if you would like not to specify an ethno-racial identity not listed above, you can click that here. So if you identify as a specific ethnicity and it's not listed here, you can use this last option right here. Going down even further, it's asking, what is your religion and or spiritual self-identity? So you can select all that apply, but again, if you prefer not to answer, you can select prefer not to answer to submit that information. Then the next question is, how would you describe your sexual orientation? And again, you can select all that apply if there's more than one applies, or you can choose to prefer not to answer. Then the last question is, do you self-identify as a person with a disability or an impairment? And again, you can select all that applies, or you can can select you prefer not to answer. But for anyone that does select that information, as I said before, it does, the names don't get sent. It's just the data numbers sent to the institutions, just so they can properly plan for support services around the different populations that are coming in. So it is very valuable information to the colleges to have with the new incoming student population. Now, the last question right here is for military-connected learners. So if you are a military-connected learner, you can identify yes, no, or prefer not to answer. So if you are currently serving in the regular or reserve forces, if you are a veteran, or if you're immediate family of any of those groups, you can choose yes. But if you're not associated with any of those groups, and you would select no, or obviously you can select prefer not to answer. And then you can save and continue to go on to the next section. So just for the purposes of this, it won't let me continue if I don't select any of those options. So I'm just going to, for quick going through, I'm just going to click prefer not to answer, just so we can go through. But as I said before, it is, you can definitely click that option in for if you want to identify. So we're done with our personal information. Now we're going to go over to our education information, where we can input any of our current, past, or future education. So if you are currently enrolled in a high school course, you'll select yes or no. Or if you've graduated from a high school or earned a high school equivalency like a GED, you can select that yes or no as well. Now we're going to go down to our self-declared education. So you can start identifying any of the schools that you're currently attending, or any past schools that you have attended in the past. So myself, I am a graduate of Fellows High School in Pembroke. So I have identified that as my high school here. So I'll just kind of click into our edit record just to show you what that looks like when you're selecting your options. So a type of education, that'll be Canadian high school education, Canadian college education, or there could be vocational or other private college education as well. So you can select that option, what province you attended that school in, and then you can start typing in your name. So whether your school is closed or currently open, you can start typing in the name of your school and it'll auto-populate that school, again, whether it was closed or if it's currently open. So you can search for any school that was open at any point in Ontario. Then you can put in your attended from dates. So when you started high school versus when you finished high school, or when you started college or university versus when you finished college or university. Then the last grade that you completed within that institution, and if you graduated or not. Now, this last section here, it's going to ask for your Ontario education number. And where you'll find your Ontario education number will be on your report card. If you have an Ontario high school transcript, it'll be located on there. But if you're not sure what your Ontario education number is, you can enter 0 and to bypass that. Now, it's going to also ask you for your student number at that institution as well, or at that school. So again, if you don't have access to what your transcript, your report card, or your old student card, and you're not sure what your student number is, you can type in 0, and then that'll let you bypass that, because they can still access your transcript information using your name and your date of birth. And then you can also put in what your name on your school record was. So again, they can search for that. So we're just going to save and continue. But if you want to add another, so if you have previously attended a college university after high school, you can identify that as well. So I'm just going to go through this and let you know how that looks. So again, you can select whether you attended high school, college, university, academic upgrading, or international education. So I'm going to select Canadian college education. And again, you can select what province you went to college or university in, and what college that was. So there's a huge listing here, so you can just identify what school you attended. So I'm a graduate of Algonquin College in Pembroke, and I know I do not currently attend this institution. I work here. So no, I do not currently attend this institution, and I attended from September 2011. And because my program was a condensed program, I'm a graduate of the business program. I finished in December, in December of 2012. And I mentioned that I was a business graduate. I received a diploma, so you can identify whether you got an advanced diploma, a certificate, a degree, graduate certificate, or other, or if you did not receive a credential from your time at that institution. Then again, same thing as before. If you don't know what your student number was, you can input 0, but the school can still locate your information using all the other information that you supplied. So that's declaring your education. Now we're going to go down here. So if anyone has any standardized test to submit, whether that be GED scores, IELTS scores, TOEFL scores, anything like that, you can submit that through this section, and you'd have to mail those to this address here at ontariocolleges.ca and click on the supporting documents page to follow the instructions to include the information that you need to include so that they can attach it with your application to then send to the college that you're looking to apply to. So we're done that section. So we're going to go back to our profile. So we're finished all those two, and we're going to go down to the next option on the left-hand side and click on apply. So we're going to start our college application. So as you can see, as I said before, there's 2 application periods open right now. And so there's for 2023, 2024. At this current time, you can still apply for winter 24 programs and spring 24 programs. As you can see, that's for August 1st, 2023 until July 31st, 2024. But the main purpose of this tutorial is looking for folks that are applying for fall 2024 and winter and spring 2025. So all of those programs are going to start between August 2024 and July 31st, 2025. So we're just going to click on apply now to start that application. And then that'll take us over to choose our programs. So earlier, whenever I clicked on that apply now through the Outdoor Adventure program page, and that brought us through to the branded application, if you stay on that page, when you get to this point of applying, that program choice of Outdoor Adventure or whatever program you selected will automatically be here as your #1 choice program. But if you went through like we just did and just started from scratch, you can start typing in the name of your program that you're interested in, and that'll bring up the name of those programs here. And you can also identify it by college. So if you don't want to have to go through all of the different options, you can do that here. So I'm just going to type in outdoor. And then that'll bring our all of our outdoor programs up. So we do have Outdoor Adventure. It's offered at Algonquin College in Pembroke. If you're looking at a program and it's offered in Ottawa or Perth, or if it's online, it'll identify that here underneath Algonquin. And then for details of the program, you want to make sure that you're applying to the right start date, so September 2024. It is a full-time program, 2 academic years, and the program is currently open. So we're going to add that to our application. And you can see that here along the side at program choices at a glance. Now, because with your Ontario College's application, you do get 5 program choices overall and 3 at any one college. So we want to make sure that we use up all 3 of our choices for Algonquin to keep our options open. So I've already submitted an application to Outdoor Adventure, but because I want to keep my options open and because there's lots of jobs in this area, I'm also going to apply to our practical nursing program. So you just type in practical nursing, and then that'll bring up the practical nursing program. But as you can see, as I said before, there could be programs offered at multiple campuses. So you'll just want to make sure that you're applying to the correct campus where it says Ottawa, Pembroke, or Perth underneath. So I'm going to apply to the Pembroke campus for practical nursing and add that to my application. But I do still have 1 program choice left, and I still want to keep my options open. And I'm still interested in the outdoors. So I'm going to type in forestry to see what type of forestry programs we have. So we have forestry technician as well as urban forestry arboriculture. So you can actually see that forestry technician is identified as a 45-week program, and urban forestry is identified as 1 academic year. So the urban forestry program is a 1-year certificate. So those students are done after 8 months. But you can see with this 45 weeks, this is actually a regular 2-year delivery format, like the Outdoor Adventure and practical nursing. Only we've taken 4 semesters and we deliver this program over 45 weeks or 12 months, essentially. So the forestry program, these students are, they're done the program partway through the following August. So I'm going to add that in as my 3rd program choice. So I've exhausted all of my 3 program choices at Algonquin College, and I'm happy with that. So I'm going to save and continue. And then we can just go over and review our program choices. And if you change your mind and practical nursing or another program that you selected as your second or third choice suddenly becomes your first choice, you can always log back into your Ontario Colleges application, come back in here and re-rank your programs and move practical nursing up. Or if you want to move forestry up into 2 or into 1, you can freely do that at any time. So you can always do that at any time during the application cycle, and then just make sure you save your changes so then it gets updated with the college. So that's what all that is. But even if you want to, something changes in your life and maybe you don't want to do nursing anymore, you can come into your application, you can remove that program choice. Yes, I do want to remove that program choice. So that'll get deleted off of my application, and then that'll get that information will get sent to the colleges that you had originally applied to let you know that that application has now closed on their end as well. But if you want to replace that with another program, you can come down here and change add program choices. So we're going to save our changes because we deleted that practical nursing program. And I'm actually I want to maybe work with with children. So I'm going to type in early child education. And then that'll bring up our early child education program. And again, as you can see, there are many different options available at squeeze it down into Algonquin again. And yeah, there are different choices between Algonquin. So you can see there's Ottawa, Pembroke, as well as online. And there's 2 years in Ottawa, 42 weeks in Pembroke. So it is, again, a quicker format within the Pembroke campus as opposed to the Ottawa campus. So I'm going to add that in as my third program choice. We're going to save and continue. And then that updates our application. So whenever we update, that information will get sent to Algonquin to know that I'll be applying to the early child education program now. Now you can come down here and just update your college history. So if you've applied to Algonquin in the past, whether it was when you last attended, or if you applied after you last attended, but you just didn't go, you can apply that here. So I only applied to Algonquin once, and that was in 2011, and I last technically attended in 2012. So we're just going to save and continue from there. So now we're at the point where we can order our transcripts. So whether you are a current high school student, a former Ontario high school student, or a current Ontario college or university student, this is where you can request for your transcripts for Ontario colleges to contact that institution for them to send your transcripts to Ontario colleges, so that then they can then disperse it out to all the schools that you apply to. So because I had already identified my high school education before as Fellows High School, it already has that request here. So if I want to request from my high school transcript from Fellows to get it sent to Ontario colleges to send it to Algonquin, I can click on the request button. It adds an extra $7 fee onto your application fee, but that ensures that the transcript will get received, and you don't really have to do any other background legwork for that. And then you can also, again, if you attended any colleges, universities in Ontario, you can order those transcripts from here. But if you attended a high school or a college or university outside of Ontario, whether it's in Quebec, Manitoba, or BC, you just have to get a copy of those transcripts on your own, mail them to Ontario colleges, and then they'll be able to attach that with your application. Or you can just go through the request for those schools, and then they can just send that transcript right to Ontario colleges for you, and then those transcripts will get attached with your application to get sent to those different colleges. So we're going to save and continue there. Now we're going to just review all of our information before we get to the payment of the application, just to make sure before we actually submit that payment that all of our information is accurate. So when the colleges look to contact us, they will have a way to contact us. So just make sure your name, your date of birth, your contact information, email, phone number, address is all good to go. Your citizenship, your status of Canada, whether you're of Indigenous descent, you can update that at that point now if you missed any of the sections. If you realize you made any mistakes along any of the education statuses that you put in, you can put that in there as well and change those. You have one last chance before you submit your application to update any of your program choices or re-rank your program choices, and just ensure that all the transcripts that you're looking to order are getting ordered as well. So you'll just click that my information is accurate, and you can continue the payment. So with your Ontario Colleges application, it is a $125 application fee, and that application fee will not change whether you apply to one program, two, three, four, or five programs. So we do encourage you to use up as many program choices as you want, but if you are dead set on one program and that's the program that you're going to go do, then yeah, just putting in one program choice is totally fine. But we do encourage, especially high school students, to use up all the program choices just to keep your options open as much as possible. And then, as you saw with that transcript request from the high schools, there is an extra $7 fee that will go on top of that, on top of the $125 fee. And then there will be, once you get to the payment section, there will be HST on top of that as well. So you'll just go over to pay your outstanding fees, and you'll get to see the breakdown of everything that you're paying. We're just going to wait for that to go in. So you are able to pay by credit card. So you'll see $125. You'll put in your cardholder name, the card number, and whether it's Visa, MasterCard, or American Express, or you can also pay by Visa debit as well if you have that available. And then you'll just put in the information and then process the payment. And then they'll let you know if your payment was accepted. As soon as the payment is processed, your application will get sent over to your college. So applications are currently open, as we've just seen, and acceptance offers will start to go out November 1st for non-highly competitive programs. And for highly competitive programs, those offers will start to get sent out in early February into late February as well. Now, if you are not quite sure if the program that you are interested in is a highly competitive program or the non-highly competitive program, just go back over to your program page. Scroll up to the top here, look at availability, and under competitive, it'll identify whether that is a competitive program or a non-highly competitive program. So if you have applied to your program in November and you haven't heard anything, and it's getting into December, into January, and you haven't gotten anything from the college, just go onto that program page just to recheck if your program is competitive or not. If it is a competitive program, then that you can be assured that the acceptance offers should be coming out in February at some point. So that is the Ontario Colleges application. I hope that that was very helpful. And as soon as you submit your application, like I said, you can always sign back in to make changes, make program choices changes as well. So it's not just as soon as you submit your application, that's the end all of it. You can always come back in and make changes as well. Now, if you do have any questions at all around, applying to college, about Algonquin College or any of our programs, I'm just going to get to some of my contact information here. So I'm located under the major faculty, even though I'm not technically a faculty, but I am the admissions officer for our business technology and outdoor adventure programs here at the Pembroke campus. So you can always reach out to me through email or through phone here, and I'm happy to answer questions. If I can't answer the question, I can help put you in touch with someone who can. You can also, if you want to come book a tour, you can book a tour through our recruitment team as well. Most likely, I could also be the one delivering that tour. So if you want to come check out the Pembroke campus, that's a really great time to check out the campus. We give out free T-shirts for everyone that comes for an individual campus tour. So you can sign up for that through the website as well. So we do look forward to seeing you at the Pembroke campus in the near future. And yeah, go back onto the Ontario Colleges page, onto the Algonquin Pembroke campus page to look at all that information. There's lots of great information on there to learn about your programs, your campuses, and your services. And yeah, we will see you in September 2024. Have a great day.